to New York City can feel a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're doing this solo without any help. And by choosing to move to New York City, I will personally be placing you in a category of a little bit crazier than everybody else. It's a ridiculous move, but it's also so rewarding. And props to you for even considering this huge leap to begin with. Because apartment hunting in New York City is its own beast. And it's honestly way different than apartment hunting anywhere else. I was so very fortunate to have help on my first move to New York City last summer when I secured my one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan, but even then it still wasn't easy by any means. So hi, I'm Heather and I'll be your guide today, where I'll be sharing all the knowledge that you need to know in order to be confident to book your trip to New York City for apartment touring. Here's how to stay organized on your tours and how to secure your dream spot. Everything you need to know, including tips and mistakes to avoid. Plus I'll also be showing you footage of 10 apartments, including prices and exact location. By the way, I just visited all these apartments in January of 2025 so that you can get a sense of what the market is like this year. Granted, it does change from season to season, but I know that before I moved, I was very eager to see apartments for myself, so I went and attended a few open houses for you. Let's start with what you need to know. Because before we jump into the New York City apartments, I want to give you a little bit more broader view of the New York City real estate market as it stands right now. Basically, rental units in New York City go very fast. I'm talking, we had an open house that was scheduled for 1 p.m. and I got an email at 12:30 saying there was already an application pending before the open house even opened. And that's what you can expect. Some apartments are shown before they're even listed, some are listed and taken down within 24 hours. So there is the added pressure of deciding whether you want to live in a place within a couple hours of just looking at it. And don't we just love making pressured life-altering decisions within a time limit? So question number one that I get asked pretty often is, when should I start looking for apartments? Well, if you're like me, you'll eagerly be searching on the internet for anywhere of up to 6 months in advance leading up to the move because I was just so excited. I swear my screen time on this apartment hunting websites must have been through the roof. But every real estate agent will tell you to start looking a month and a half in advance. Anything earlier than 2 months, a lot of people will say that that is far too early because the apartments that you're looking at, you're probably not going to be able to secure in the time frame that you're looking for. I know when I first heard that, I thought that was way too late to be looking for apartments. That's why this is so different and there's so much to learn because things move so much faster. But it is all right to start doing your research as early as possible so that you can kind of get a sense of things. Because then you can understand what kind of space you can get at certain price points, what neighborhoods work best for you, so that when it actually comes time to picking an apartment, you're not getting screwed over and can better tell what's a good deal. So in terms of when to book your trip, if you aren't from New York and want to come specifically to tour for apartments, the earliest you'll probably want to come is about a month and a half to advance to 3 weeks out. So let's say you're looking to reserve an apartment for the end of March. The earliest you'll want to come is mid-February, but more than likely early March would be perfect timing. Alternatively, you could also wait until your lease is up and stay in an Airbnb, or you could even sublease an apartment if you're still not sure what neighborhoods that you're interested in living in. Also, it could take some time to search around the city, and this would allow you far more time to be a little bit more picky with everything on your checklist. But I will say I did have a horrible sublease story. When I was trying to sublease an apartment this summer, I actually got scammed for this very reason. I was in between leases, so I went to Facebook. That was probably my first mistake. And I joined a Facebook group specifically for people that were listing their apartments that they wanted to sublease. Subleasing is basically when someone will let you take over the payments for their apartment because they'll be away for whatever reason without having to break their contract. And there were so many scammers. There's a lot of scammers on Facebook. And I thought I was smart enough to sift through the real people from the scammers, but unfortunately, I still did get scammed. In my case, this person said they were a traveling nurse and looking for someone to take over their lease for the summer, which was perfect timing. I was literally emailing back and forth with what I thought was the leasing team. They had a website and different agents on their website, and long story short, I Zelled them $2,000. So not only was it heartbreaking losing the money, because every penny saved is super precious when you're saving to move out of state, but apparently since I had sent the money through Zelle, I couldn't get the money back. And the scammers know this, which is why they try to get you to send money that way. So basically the advice I have to give is 1, avoid Facebook groups. 2, stay with someone you know or book that hotel. It'll be worth the money because it'll be far more worth it and give you peace of mind. And 3, don't send money to strangers using Zelle. Anyways, back to the real estate market. Fall and winter are considered off seasons in New York City. That's where there are fewer rental units available, so it can be a little bit harder to find exactly what you're looking for. But the prices could be between 10 to 15% cheaper in the winter if you're lucky. In the summertime, there are a ton more options. It is far more competitive. There's post-grads moving in and school is out, so you have to be ready to sign a lot faster. So because of that demand, consumers like you and me will end up paying a premium price tag. There could even be things like bid wars where people try to outbid each other for a specific apartment. So moving between October to April could actually save you thousands. But even if you move during prime time, like the summer, it's really not the end of the world. Me and countless others still managed to do it. And plus, sometimes you can get lucky by getting a rent stabilized unit, which means that the price won't fluctuate from year to year. Next, let's talk about exactly how to search for apartments. To actually look for apartments, you'll likely be looking on a website called Street Easy. When I lived anywhere else in the US, I usually used Zillow.com or apartments.com, but in this case, I promise you Street Easy is going to be your best bet. It's better organized to suit the search of searching in New York City. It's really straightforward, and it's also really great at getting you in contact with specific leasing agents so that you can get your tours scheduled. So definitely go set up your account. This isn't sponsored or anything, but the reason why having an account is beneficial is because you can save your search settings so you aren't typing in the same search criteria again and again. Plus, you can even get email updates when new listings are posted that match your criteria. So it's definitely worth it to make a free account. Searching for the right apartment comes down to three main criteria: location, amenities, and price. So we're gonna cover all three. And realistically, I learned that you're going to need to be pretty flexible. Let's talk location. You definitely want to manage your expectations because location plays a huge factor in what you can get and how much space that you can get for your budget. If you aren't familiar with New York, I saved this map so I can kind of show you what New York City is actually like and broken into, because it's more than just Times Square. And trust me, you don't want to live in Times Square. New York is composed of 5 main boroughs. So you have the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. The main one we're going to be discussing today is Manhattan, which is probably the one that you think about when you think of New York City. When you visit, that's probably where you want to go. This is where most of the events happen, the ball drop, and probably all of the restaurants that you have saved on TikTok are in this location. And this is also where all the apartment tours that I'm touring today will be taking place. So anyway, I definitely recommend visiting in advance if you can, so you can see the difference in the boroughs and really travel around and use the subway and train and bus systems, because it's very different when you're living in a place versus just visiting, and it'll put you on the safer side before making a long-term year commitment. Now zooming just into Manhattan, so first we can take a look at the Upper West Side. I like this area a lot. This is where I chose my apartment. It is a lot more chill, just out of the hustle and bustle of everything, more family oriented, lots of schools. It's also right in between Riverside Park and Central Park. And then you have the Upper East Side. I would say it's very similar in vibe, but a little bit more lively, a little bit more of a younger crowd. There's a lot of hip restaurants and bars, a great place to live if you're interested in socializing or you're moving here alone. Then you have everything below Central Park. And this is where the price tag starts to go up and the space starts to go down. You're not just strolling along these streets. It's very active. You'll likely hear an ambulance go by at least twice an hour. That being said, this is where all the happenings are happening. All the events I've been to have been in this area. It has the most bougie, aesthetic restaurants and hotels, and it's just huge convenience of living in this area. Next, we're gonna talk amenities. You should definitely create your list of must-have amenities and then a list of nice-to-haves. When I lived in Texas, I thought that most things were mandatory. For example, a washer dryer, but you're gonna realize pretty quickly you're gonna have to make compromises on certain areas. For example, something as simple as countertop space or something like central air. That's something I didn't even consider asking about in the beginning, but sometimes your unit doesn't come with any heating or cooling systems, and that's something that you'll be in charge of putting in yourself. So those are a few things that maybe you're not necessarily thinking about that is different when you're on the hunt here. Now moving on to exactly how much you would need to save to move to New York. I would recommend saving about 4 months worth of rent. And I know that sounds ridiculous because that doesn't even count for any moving fees, especially if you're taking something like a U-Haul or moving cross state. But that's definitely the amount I would recommend for peace of mind. Even then, the money that you spent countless months saving for will be gone so quickly your head will spin. What you need to know: And the name of the game when it comes to moving to New York City is speed and preparation. If you take nothing else away from this video, this is the most important section. The documents and paperwork that you're gonna need. 9 times out of 10, you need to be ready and prepared to make your decision about the apartment immediately after touring a place. And you don't want to be scrambling to get your documents together when you're on-site touring. You want to be able to move quick. So I'm going to show you all of the different paperworks that you're definitely going to need when you're applying to different apartments. You want to over-prepare in this stage rather than under-prepare. So what I did, and I recommend you do too, is create a Google Drive folder, and in that folder, create subfolders for all the information that you need. Make a folder for that, including anyone else who might also be applying and any guarantor information. Next, I'm going to cover the cost breakdown, and I hope you're sitting down for this one. First, it's about $20 for the application fee. Then you have the security deposit, which is usually the first month's rent. Then you need the first month's rent. And sometimes there will be a broker fee. What is a broker's fee, you ask? It's an extra fee of about 10 to 15% of the annual rent. It's normalized here, but it's no less ridiculous. Luckily on Street Easy, you can sift by apartments with no fee. Those are also what I'm going to be looking at today. Now, the last and most important thing that I would recommend for your New York City apartment hunt is this spreadsheet. It's honestly my pride and joy. I swear to you, as soon as you start sending emails out, they will all kind of very quickly start to blend together. You start mixing up agent names and locations. So if you want to get a leg up on the competition and get your dream apartment, I highly recommend going and getting this sheet. I have a Google Sheet and Notion version down below, which you can download. Essentially, it can help you track your apartment tours by day and time, along with locations and specifics about each apartment. Plus, you can easily jot down your thoughts as you're touring them. Now we can finally move on to what I'm looking for in the apartments today and the tours we're going to be going through. As mentioned, I'm looking at lowest price point for a studio or a 1-bedroom, specifically those with no fee in the Manhattan area. This includes studio, loft apartments, and 1-bedrooms. I didn't have a minimum budget, but I set the maximum budget to $3,500. The top 3 things I'm looking for is 1, a safe location, 2, a spacious unit, even though I know those are a little bit hard to come by, preferably with good storage, and good lighting. My wish list is a washer dryer in unit and an authentic cozy New York style, so nothing too modern in a sense that it kind of loses the New York charm. Let's jump into the videos. The very first one that we're looking at is in the Upper West Side. It is a studio listed for $2,925, and we end up looking at 2 units in this building. There's a virtual doorman, an elevator, laundry in building, and a rooftop area. First off, you walk in and there is that bit of security with the virtual doorman, and then there's the shared mailroom area. Walk down the hallway and you'll find the only elevator. This was a very small elevator, guys. Once I started looking at this apartment, I really do love the layout of it. There actually is quite a bit of light. I want to say that this was south facing, so you do get a lot of sunlight throughout the day. That kitchen area does have a lot of counter space, and then you kind of walk in and you see the whole living room area. There's not necessarily a huge view. It is blocked by buildings, but it's still very nice and warm with the light coming through. This is about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You have the overhead light, a nice tall closet with a light that you kind of like pull on and off, but it would be good for some storage. There are 2 large closets. Then you have a full-size fridge with some storage on top and below. And then just more counter space, kind of open. Hardwood floors are very nice and true to kind of the New York style. Same with the bathroom. It's kind of like that white with some black tile in it. Next, I tried to take just a quick glimpse of the stairwell, and then we went up to this nice roof area. It doesn't look like a lot of the residents really use this area. It was also a couple days after snowing, so not a lot of people outside in the winter time. Here, you could definitely have a small little social gathering, and it faces westwards, but you can still kind of see out towards the river. Then we took the elevator all the way down to the shared laundry area. You do still have to pay, bring your own detergents, and then I think it was $175 per load, 3 washing, 3 drying stations. And then just to the left, there was a gym. I don't know if I would call it a full gym. It had about 3 cardio machines and a pulley system there too. I will say they had plenty of dumbbells and then a wall with some mirrors on it, so you could probably you know, get a workout done there. It definitely could do the trick. Right next door, there was another studio option. I believe this one was listed for slightly more. I'll put that on the screen. This one looked a little bit more upgraded. Immediately you're hit with a ton of more light in this area. They both get really good light, but the bathroom just felt a little bit newer. A lot of the furnishings in this area, it seemed like it had just been touched up a little bit nicer. It doesn't have the hardwood floors, so it was giving more of like a modern look. You do have a nice full kitchen, a lot of similar storage. This one had more of a living room type area, as you could see, dividing it between that and the bedroom. So there was a nice little division between the two. And then all of the storage was all located in the bedroom. So you could use that as both closet and for storage. It did have this sliding door, which does divide what would be the living room from the bedroom. And it is a true sliding door. There's no holes or anything around, but it is glass. So I'm sure you would still see through, but it is nice to have a bit of division. Okay, so this was another option in the Upper West Side. This one was listed for $3,111 with 1 month free. So the net effective rent was $2,800. It's 1.5 baths. So as you walk in, you can kind of see the allure, the New Yorkness of it. You do have that faux fireplace and, you know, quite a bit of space, I guess, in comparison to the others. The only thing we cannot overlook here is the kitchen. This was a huge red flag. Even if you don't cook that much, I would say that this was far too small. They did say at the end of the tour that they had the green light to renovate, but they didn't guarantee updating appliances and it wouldn't increase the size of the kitchen. There was a closet to the left of it, probably be bedroom downstairs, living room upstairs, and there were also 2 entrances. So there was like a door right here when you entered on the top, and there was also a door to enter on the bottom that took you to the laundry room. The bathroom tile I wasn't in love with. Definitely an older styled bathroom, including the top shower area. I'm not gonna lie to you, walking down those stairs definitely was a hazard, but there is a ton of space. They had 2 heating units, one in the top, one in the bottom, that are kind of installed in the wall. Another closet, and there is a half bathroom here. So this one doesn't have a shower, but it has a toilet and a sink. That is actually pretty nice that you have one on the top and bottom. The entire first floor is basically the size of some other studios that we end up looking at. So this one definitely wasn't my favorite. A very interesting layout, as you'll see as we start looking at more places, that each one is so unique. On to the next one. We made our way southeast, technically Kips Bay neighborhood. This apartment was listed for $3,350. There were 2 months free, so the net effective rent came out to $2,931. They also say that they have a bike room, a package room, a gym and media area, and you can access the rooftop area. As soon as I got there, you had the virtual doorman, very large sized elevator. First walk in and you can see that there is a lot of light. Really, really large, big windows, feeling very modern, very clean. No pets were allowed, and there were a few quirks to the studio. One, it didn't have a full stove, it just had 2 of those like flat tops where you can cook, and there was only 2 of them. And there also wasn't a full-size fridge, which I didn't notice at first glance, like you see like in hotel rooms. The view was very nice. You can kind of see out into a park. You got the central heating in there, one of the more modern bathrooms as well, but definitely a little bit on the higher end. And some of these kitchen amenities were skipping out a little. I guess you don't really get some full-sized options. I will also say I managed to visit all of these units in one day thanks to my handy dandy sheet, and allowed me to visit all of these places in one day. Like I said, you can find my New York City apartment hunting sheet, both Google and Notion form, down in the description below. So finally made it to our last spot of the day, and it was only 5 o'clock, but the sun was already down because this is winter. So I can show you the listing photos. This place was listed for $3,500. It's technically a 1-bedroom, and the neighborhood is Yorkville, which is still the east side. Yeah, I would say very decent sized elevator when you first get in. The only thing was the colors were a little bit wonky in the hallway area. I will say this is like one of my favorite bathrooms that I visited. It just had the mirrors all around. It just felt very New York. It still had that charm, that character, and like a lot of it was just nice. Like you could see yourself doing makeup routines in here. The only thing was in this bathroom, something was leaking. It looked like a problem to me, but I don't know. But on the left side of the bathroom, you had a really nice tall closet. We were on one of the top floors and these were 9-foot ceilings. So you just felt the grandness of it from walking in. The wall color, I think, also gave a nice like calm mood along with the wooden floors. The washer and dryer were brand spanking new, just added in, listed as 1 bedroom. Even though there's not a clear separation, it's more like a flexi wall type, but you pull the wall closed, it is glass, and you do get some separation, not so much noise cancellation. You've got the kitchen. This is a full-size fridge, a lot of modern appliances, not too much counter space, but still well enough. Lots of recessed lighting above, and a well-sized closet in the bedroom with the central air there. Yeah, plenty of room for a queen-size bed. This was south-facing windows, so you get a lot of light throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, this was a really great unit. When I saw it, I just felt like you really feel like you're living like that New York style dream here. It was very charming, very cute place. All right, which brings us to our next unit. This one I didn't get to physically go to, but the realtor sent me a really great video. This was just on the cusp of the Upper East Side, right on the lower right end of Central Park. This one is listed for $3,299 as a 1-bed, 1-bath. It has central air, little faux fireplace, dishwasher, hardwood floors, a washer and dryer. What I like is that in the video, they also show the stairwell, so you can see what you're getting into. And I love when it has like that brick red wall on the side. It's just so charming when you walk in. This was such a nice, like, it just brings a smile to my face seeing a nice modern kitchen, washer dryer, amazing, and then a full-size fridge. Just very modern, very updated. You know, you got the recessed lighting. So you have kind of the barn door closed for the bedroom, but you can see that the top is open. You would definitely still, you know, get noise back and forth, but the door is closed. You don't have that see-through wall, and it's very decently sized. You can definitely fit a queen bed here, and then you've got 2 large windows and lots of storage and a nice big closet. Not to mention, there are these sconces on the wall that go on either side of the bed. They do work and turn on, so that's just extra light. So that's really nice. Like, you're not gonna get into the slums come wintertime. There's a lot of overhead lighting. Then we walk into the bathroom, and it's nice. It's pretty standard, honestly, but you do actually have a tub, and it looks like the floor was redone here too, kind of like that marble and newer-ish tile. So yeah, not bad. I would say pretty decent for a 1-bedroom, the $3,200 cost in the area. Okay, so this one's actually a funny story. So I inquired about the studio in this building, listed for $2,995. It's specifically Murray Hill area in the main hub of the city. So cool. It was an old hotel turned apartment. Laundry in building, a package room, multiple elevators. So the realtor took me up to a floor, okay? Knowing my budget was $2,999. And instead, I got the view of a lifetime. He said, "Oh, you're interested in a 1-bedroom?" I said, "Yeah, I'll see the 1-bedroom. You know, I'm just looking." We went up to the 22nd floor. He said, "The unit is the entire floor." I said, "Huh?" Get off the 22nd floor. Right, we get off the hallway, go left, immediately just hit with, okay, city views galore. This kitchen was gorgeous. I don't know why I'm getting my hopes up. This isn't anywhere within our budget, by the way. Like, this kitchen is everything. It has literally everything that you could possibly want. Nice open area, floor to ceiling windows, you know, a little bit older style, but still floor to ceiling. A full fridge. I would assume this is kind of like a storage area with its own window. You walk back to the right of the kitchen, an entire outdoor patio walking area, the Empire State Building. Like 360 views, multiple windows galore. I mean, in the living room here, like with the light up, it was just so dreamy. This is definitely my favorite apartment that I visited for sure. The checkered hardwood floor was, and then there was that like faux fireplace. You would have an entire office / living room area here. There was a little bit of above lighting too, and then a full bedroom all the way around. So it just felt so spacious. And then once you walk through the bedroom, you also get to the bathroom area. I mean, there was a window in the bathroom. that is goals, to have a nice big open window in the bathroom with even more gorgeous views, lighting throughout the day. Yeah, and it had like this little ledge that was just gorgeous. I mean, some built-in mirrors everywhere. This was insane. Guys, this was $5,000, over $5,000. I'm not even gonna try and find the listing. Unique New York apartment. This just covers all the bases. Let's switch gears to the actual studio. $2,995 for the studio. This is more like it. Walk to the right, you see a nice big open walk-in closet, technically. Good for storage and definitely your clothes, so you can access your clothes from the bathroom. Yeah, you've got the bathroom here. Nothing too crazy. It does have older tiled flooring, but pretty good. I mean, pretty spacious in there, I would say. Another tall closet where you can put like your cleaning supplies or storage stuff. And then you have, again, that kind of like that checkered open floor, just a very open floor plan here. You do get some nice light in, you do get, you know, a little bit of the city view here too. This is definitely a lower floor, but the kitchen was very interesting. You did have a window in the kitchen and you had the stove, but not a full-sized fridge in the kitchen. It was like one of those smaller fridges. They said a fridge is available upon request, which would go in the living room, which was actually right here on the right side. So they provide you with a fridge if you ask for it, and it is there. And then there's one last storage closet. So yeah, this is more so what I expected in this building. Not bad, but for just under 3,000, I think we've seen maybe a little bit better. All right, for this next unit, we are back on the Upper West Side. This is $2,595 for a studio. Honestly, for a studio, not bad for this area. Really no amenities here except that you did have the nice windows and the hardwood floors. Also, there was no elevator. I think this was like 3 floors up, so you would have to walk up the stairs. So that would have been kept in mind for the movers. But I would say this one was pretty true to the photos, like very realistic in terms of what you could expect on the website versus what you got in person. I actually liked it a little bit more in person. It felt very spacious, you know, pretty all right in terms of counter space. You do have the full-size fridge. The internal heating is right there on the right side of the wall. And then you have a full closet a lot of New York closets tend to go up pretty high. So yeah, it felt very spacious here. I would assume probably like a desk office type setup would go there on the left and then the bed here on the right. And then kind of just looked outside to see what the outside area was. You do have like the fire escape on the right side, which is kind of cute to have. You can get a full kind of idea of what the living room and bedroom looks like. And then you have 2 full-size closets. One of them has storage, and then the other one is more so for hanging clothes, so more of like a wardrobe setup. And then inside the bathroom, you do have another window, and then nice bright mustard yellow bathroom tiles. Not bad, not terrible. For the price, this is definitely one of the lower end of the units that we'd seen. Okay, now this one I had to see. This was a loft in the Chelsea area. The Chelsea area does not come up very often, meeting the criteria that I set, which was a no fee studio or 1 bedroom under 3,500. So I was really excited to look at this unit. Very lively. It's just such a beautiful area. You got the Chelsea Market, you've got the piers. So this was listed for $2,950. But this unit was on the first floor, so you're kind of directly facing the street. So sorry, let me just touch on the kitchen really quick. Stove and a sink, and that's it. You get like kind of a funny story. There was like lingerie like packaging on top of the counter. The realtor lady said, "When I showed this unit yesterday, the bathtub was full and running. Like if I hadn't come into the unit, it would have overflown." The landlord, at least whatever, didn't know. So I don't know if someone took advantage of the fact that this unit was empty, doing something freaky in there. I have no idea. Definitely added a little bit of uncomfortability and like questioned the safety of this either unit or building. That was very off-putting. Like there was just a lot of things around here that were like broken, needed to be fixed up, needed to be painted. So it was really hard for me to take it seriously just because that was kind of lingering in my head, like the whole safety aspect of it. But yeah, they did have like the faux fireplace there, but the floors were super creaky. Like as I was walking around, they were very uneven. They did have a closet there on the floor level. I liked the concept of a loft, of being able to kind of walk up these stairs, put your bed up there, and you could stand up fully on the loft floor area. And there was also some room for storage, right? Pretty cool concept, but I think I wasn't really feeling it. I'm telling you, if you want to stay organized when it comes to apartment hunting in New York, definitely consider downloading the sheet down below. It will save you when you're touring to make sure that you are staying organized and the most efficient you can be when it comes to scheduling tours. You'll be able to see the maximum amount of places and hopefully get your dream apartment. I wish you the best of luck on your apartment hunt this year. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do any more apartment tours for any other boroughs, including Queens, Brooklyn, or New Jersey. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.